It started early, I think. Not with malice, never with malice, just absence. I remember being 7, maybe 8. My younger sister had just been born, and the house was a different kind of busy. My birthday fell in the middle of it all. I woke up, waited. I waited for the special breakfast, the whispered plans, the sudden burst of song. None of it came. My mother was tired, my father preoccupied. They were good people, loving people, just elsewhere. I spent the day playing with my new toy cars, unwrapped them myself from the closet where they'd been stored. I remember thinking, they'll remember later star. They didn't. Not that day. The next day, my mother saw the cars, asked if I'd opened them. I said yes. She said, "Oh, happy belated birthday, sweetie." Belated. That word stuck. By 10, I'd learned to drop hints. Not obvious ones, never obvious. Just, my birthday is coming up soon, isn't it funny how fast the year goes? Or, I saw a cake in the store, it reminded me of my favorite kind. My friends, the ones I spent every waking moment with, they'd nod, agree about the year, comment on the cake. Then the day would arrive. And pass. Sometimes, a friend would remember a day or two later, usually because their own parent reminded them. "Oh, it was your birthday yesterday, wasn't it? Sorry." The apology always felt hollow, not because it wasn't sincere, but because it was for something they hadn't even realized they'd forgotten. It was like apologizing for not seeing a ghost. High school was a different kind of expectation. I had a group, a tight-knit group. We did everything together. We remembered each other's half-birthdays, for crying out loud. But mine. It was a blind spot. I remember my 16th. I'd been talking about it for weeks, not directly, but about turning 16, getting my license, the freedom. The day came. We were all at the diner, our usual booth. Someone mentioned a movie coming out next week. Someone else talked about a test. I sat there, waiting for someone to say something. Anything. The waitress brought the check. We split it. I went home. My parents had remembered, of course, a small family dinner. But my friends, the ones who were supposed to be my world. Nothing. I didn't say anything. I never did. I just absorbed it, like a sponge soaking up cold water. College was a fresh start, I thought. New people, new dynamics. Maybe this time. I made new friends, close ones. We shared everything, late-night talks, early morning classes, shared meals. My birthday rolled around. I didn't hint. I decided to just see. To truly see if it was me, or if it was just how things were. I woke up, went to class. My roommate, who I'd lived with for 2 years, said, "Morning." That was it. Later that day, I saw a post on social media from an old high school acquaintance wishing me a happy birthday. My college friends saw it. One of them said, "Oh, is it your birthday today?" Not a question, more of a surprised statement. I said, "Yeah." They said, "Happy birthday." And then the conversation moved on to something else. It was like a brief acknowledgement of a fact, not a celebration of a person. I felt a familiar ache, but also a growing sense of resignation. This wasn't going to change. Then came the relationships. I thought a partner, someone who truly knew me, would be different. My first serious girlfriend. We'd been together for a year. My birthday was approaching. I mentioned it once, casually, a few weeks out. She said, "Oh, really? What do you want to do?" I felt a flicker of hope. This was it. She was asking. She was planning. The day before, she called, excited about something else entirely. I waited for her to bring it up. She didn't. The day itself, she was busy with work. She texted me in the evening, "Happy birthday. Sorry, I'm swamped." Swamped. I understood. But the expectation, the quiet, persistent expectation, it still stung. I told myself, she's busy, it's okay star. But it wasn't okay. Not really. It happened again with the next partner. And the one after that. It became a pattern so ingrained, so predictable, that I started to feel foolish for even hoping. I'd try different approaches. Sometimes I'd be completely silent, a test. Sometimes I'd mention it a week before, then let it go. Sometimes I'd even say, "My birthday is on X date, just so you know." It never made a difference. The day would come, and it would pass, largely unnoticed by the people closest to me. My parents always remembered, of course, a phone call, a card. But the wider circle, the friends, the partners, the colleagues, they just didn't. I remember my 30th birthday. I decided to make a big deal of it for myself. I booked a weekend trip, just for me. I told a few friends, "I'm going away for my birthday weekend." I didn't ask them to come, didn't expect them to. I just wanted to put it out there. Maybe someone would say, "Oh, that's great. Happy early birthday." Or "Have fun." Most just said, "Oh, cool." The weekend came. I went. I had a perfectly fine time. But there was a part of me, a small, stubborn part, that kept checking my phone, waiting for a text, a call, a message. Nothing. When I got back, no one asked how my birthday trip was. No one mentioned it at all. It was just another weekend. That was a turning point. Not a sudden, dramatic epiphany, but a slow, quiet shift. I was tired. Tired of the anticipation, tired of the disappointment, tired of the internal monologue that always ended with, "Why don't they remember?" It wasn't about the gifts, never about the gifts. It was about being seen, being acknowledged, feeling like I mattered enough for that one specific day to register. But it clearly didn't. And it never had. So, I stopped. I stopped expecting. It wasn't easy. It felt like letting go of a part of myself, a part that still clung to the idea that if I just waited long enough, if I just found the right people, it would be different. But the evidence was overwhelming. It wouldn't be different. The first birthday, after I made this decision, was strange. I didn't tell anyone it was coming up. I didn't drop hints. I didn't even think about it much in the days leading up to it. I woke up that morning, and for the first time in my life, I felt calm. There was no flutter of hope, no underlying anxiety. I made myself a nice breakfast. I went for a long walk. I bought myself a book I'd been wanting. I called my parents. They wished me happy birthday, as always. I thanked them. Later that day, a friend texted me about something unrelated. I replied. The conversation continued. My birthday was never mentioned. And for the first time, I didn't feel a pang. I didn't feel hurt. I just felt free. It was like shedding a heavy cloak I hadn't realized I was wearing. The energy I used to expend on hoping, on waiting, on processing the disappointment, it was all suddenly available for other things. It wasn't that I didn't care about my birthday anymore. I did. I still liked the idea of it. But now, it was my day, for me to celebrate in whatever way I chose. If someone remembered, it was a pleasant surprise, a bonus. If they didn't, it was simply the norm, and it no longer carried the weight of personal slight. I remember one year, a colleague, someone I barely knew outside of work, brought me a small cupcake. "Happy birthday," she said. Someone must have mentioned it in passing. My initial reaction was a flicker of the old feeling, the surprise, the gratitude. But it was different now. It wasn't a validation of my worth, or a sign that someone finally got it. It was just a kind gesture, appreciated for what it was, without any deeper meaning attached. I thanked her, genuinely. I ate the cupcake. It was good. The arguments were closed. The internal debate was over. I had spent decades expecting people to remember something that, for whatever reason, simply didn't register for them. It wasn't a reflection of their care for me, or my importance in their lives. It was just a fact. Some people remember birthdays, some don't. And the people in my life, the ones I loved and who loved me, largely fell into the latter category when it came to my specific date. And that was okay. It truly was. My birthday became a day I looked forward to, not with anticipation of what others might do, but with anticipation of what I would do for myself. A quiet dinner, a movie, a long hike, a new experience. It became a day of self-care, self-reflection, and self-celebration. The expectation was gone, and in its place, a quiet, steady peace.